The perfect storm showed the world the last voyage of the Andrea Gale. But here's the truth, nobody knows how that voyage ended. Did you know the film's entire final act is invention? Or that the crew's families took Warner Brothers to court over it? 14 facts, starting with the biggest. Number 14. The ending never happened because nobody knows what did. Here's the fact that reframes the entire film. Everything you see after the Andrea Gale's final radio contact is invention. The boat was never found. The 6 crewmen were never found. Beyond scattered debris and an emergency beacon, the sea returned nothing. So the capsizing, the flooding wheelhouse, the final moments of Billy Tyne and Bobby Shatford are pure speculation, dramatized because a film must show something. Even the story's most dramatic lifeline is fiction. In the movie, Captain Linda Greenlaw radios a desperate mayday on the Andrea Gale's behalf. The real Linda Greenlaw has said flatly that she never placed any distress call. The crew never indicated they were in trouble. They simply never came back. She's also disputed the film's central choice, the crew knowingly sailing into the hurricane. By her account, they were already days into the journey home when the storm found them. The truest ending is the one no camera can film: silence. Number 13, the family sued Warner Brothers and changed Hollywood law. The invented ending had real consequences. The family of Captain Billy Tyne sued Warner Brothers for unauthorized commercial misappropriation and invasion of privacy, arguing the studio never obtained permission to use his likeness, and more painfully, that the film portrayed him as a reckless captain who drove his crew into the storm to save a catch. The family of crewman Dale Murphy joined the fight. Warner Brothers' defense was blunt. The law did not require permission to depict a historically significant event. The courts agreed. The Florida Supreme Court ultimately threw the case out, a ruling that became a landmark shield for every based on a true story film since. The family's verdict on the film was best summarized by Marianne Shatford, sister of lost crewman Bobby. The book, she said, was true, well-researched and well-written. It was the movie that was too Hollywood. 6 words that haunt every docudrama. Number 12. The bar is real, and so are the 5,000 names. The film's beating heart, the Crow's Nest Tavern, isn't a set. It's a real bar at 334 Main Street in Gloucester, the actual gathering place of the Andrea Gale's crew, immortalized in Sebastian Junger's book. And Bobby Shatford's mother, Ethel, really worked there. Production faced one geographic problem. The real Crow's Nest doesn't sit on the waterfront. Their solution was pure Hollywood. They built a false Crow's Nest frontage at the foot of a pier behind maritime Gloucester, so the bar could overlook the harbor on screen. The film also honors the town's deeper wound. Gloucester's Fisherman's Memorial, the famous bronze man at the wheel, erected in 1925, stands beside cenotaph plaques bearing over 5,000 names of local fishermen lost at sea since the 1600s, the Andrea Gale's 6 among the newest. The finale was shot in a real Gloucester church. The movie is fiction in places. The grief on those walls is not. Number 11. The Andrea Gale was played by her own sister. The boat on screen carries a poignant secret. The Andrea Gale was portrayed by the Lady Grace, a sister vessel, a working sword boat of the same breed, standing in for a ship the ocean never gave back. For scenes of the boat at sea, the production filmed her off Dana Point, California, doubling the cold Atlantic with the Pacific. For Gloucester harbor scenes, she sailed where the real Andrea Gale once moored. The afterlife of the stand-in is its own small story. After filming, the Lady Grace was purchased by Maritime Gloucester, becoming, for a time, a floating relic of both a movie and a tragedy. The closest thing to the Andrea Gale that anyone could visit, dockside in the very town that lost her. There's something fitting in the casting. In a film about a tight-knit fishing family, even the doomed boat was played by family. Number 10. They built the storm on a soundstage, 20 feet deep, to sink a boat safely, Warner Brothers rebuilt the Atlantic indoors. Stage 16 in Burbank, one of the largest sound stages in the world, was refitted to house a water tank 20 feet deep. Inside it, special effects supervisor John Frazier's team constructed a 6-axis hydraulic motion base. A colossal gimbal that could pitch, roll, and heave a full-scale mock-up of the Andrea Gale while dump tanks and wave machines pounded the actors with genuine tons of water. Additional gimbals and rotating room rolls tumbled the interior sets. The cameras had to survive it too. The crew developed pressurized waterproof housings, soft bags pumped with filtered dry air at above ambient pressure. So cameras could be literally submerged mid-shot without flooding. The hybrid result, practical water, animatronics, and digital seas, earned the film an Academy Award nomination for visual effects. The actor's misery, by every account, required no simulation whatsoever. Number 9. ILM had to invent a digital ocean. The film's crowning image, the Andrea Gale climbing a 100-foot rogue wave, required industrial light and magic to solve one of computer graphics' hardest problems: water. Unlike a spaceship or a dinosaur, the ocean is never still, never repeats, and interacts with everything it touches: spray, foam, mist, light. Under visual effects supervisor Stephen Fangmeyer, ILM pushed fluid simulation further than any film had, building digital seas that could rage for entire sequences and merge invisibly with the very real water crashing through stage 16. The breakthrough became a foundation stone. The techniques pioneered here fed directly into the following 2 decades of digital water, from sea epics to superhero floods. And that mountainous rogue wave wasn't Hollywood exaggeration. The real 1991 storm generated waves measured at staggering heights, and rogue waves, long dismissed as sailor's legend, were being scientifically confirmed in exactly this era. The film's most unbelievable image was among its most truthful: a moment in calmer water. If this deep dive is earning it, hit like and subscribe, because we chart the real stories behind the movies every week. Now, back into the wind. And the director who spent his whole career there. Number 8. Petersen's Water Trilogy, The Das Boot Connection. If the flooding corridors and groaning hulls feel familiar, they should. Wolfgang Petersen made his name trapping audiences underwater in Das Boot, the claustrophobic 1981 U-boat masterpiece. And The Perfect Storm completed a career-long conversation with the sea that would end with 2006's Poseidon, forming an unofficial water trilogy. Petersen understood something most disaster directors don't. The ocean isn't a backdrop, it's a character. Patient, indifferent, and always winning. Viewers of this channel know the connective tissue. Petersen is the same director who rescued Enemy Mine in 1985, rebuilding that film from scratch after its first version was scrapped. The pattern holds. Petersen was Hollywood's master of the confined crew under crushing pressure, whether the hull was a U-boat, a spaceship's shelter, or a 60-foot swordboat. In The Perfect Storm, his 2 great subjects finally merged: ordinary working men and the vast thing outside the walls that doesn't care about them. Number 7. Perfect Storm entered the dictionary because of this story. Here's a legacy almost no film can claim. This story put a phrase into the English language. The title came from a conversation between author Sebastian Junger and a National Weather Service meteorologist describing how 3 weather systems, a nor'easter, a cold front, and the remnants of Hurricane Grace, merged into a once-in-a-lifetime monster. Officially, the event was the unnamed Halloween storm of 1991. Junger's book branded it forever. After the film became a blockbuster, the metaphor escaped. Politicians, economists, and news anchors began calling every catastrophic convergence a perfect storm. And Gloucester's own newspaper eventually reported the milestone. Perfect storm had made its way into the dictionary. Longtime viewers will recognize the pattern from our Twilight Zone episode. The rarest achievement in storytelling is when your title stops being a title and becomes ordinary language. A fishing tragedy from one small Massachusetts town now describes disasters everywhere, daily. Number 6. The sinking yacht survived, and its captain objected, one of the film's most harrowing subplots. The sailboat Mistral foundering in mountainous seas, its crew plucked away by Coast Guard rescue swimmers, has an astonishing real-world epilogue. The actual vessel was the Satori, and contrary to the doomed imagery, the New York Times headline says it best. In the real storm, the skipper, the crew, and the boat all survived. The 2 crew members were indeed dramatically rescued by helicopter. But veteran skipper Ray Leonard had wanted to stay aboard, confident in his ship. He was arguably right. The sinking Satori rode out the perfect storm crewless and was later found washed ashore, largely intact. Leonard was reportedly unhappy with how the saga portrayed him, another reminder of the film's central tension. When you dramatize real people, the survivors get to review your work. The ocean sank the Andrea Gale and spared the Satori. No screenwriter would dare invent that. Number 5. The real rescue tragedy the film touches, and the ship that became a reef, the storm's heroism was real, and so was its second tragedy. During the actual 1991 event, an Air National Guard rescue helicopter, returning from a mission over the impossible seas, ran out of fuel and ditched into the storm. 4 crewmen were pulled from the water in a legendary rescue by the Coast Guard cutter Tamaroa, a decorated World War II veteran ship. Pararescue man Rick Smith was lost, despite an exhaustive search. The film dramatizes this ditching, one more place where Hollywood compressed real valor and real grief into composite scenes. The Tamaroa's own ending is quietly beautiful. Decades later, the storied cutter was deliberately sunk off the mid-Atlantic coast as an artificial reef. A warship that saved lives in the perfect storm, now sheltering life on the seafloor. The film made the storm famous. The Tamaroa's crew and Rick Smith are why it should be remembered. Number 4. The cast played real people for the people who knew them. The weight on this cast was unusual. Nearly every major character kept a real person's name, and the people who loved them were watching. Mark Wahlberg, a Massachusetts native, played Bobby Shatford, whose mother Ethel worked the bar at the actual Crow's Nest. Wahlberg's scenes with Diane Lane dramatize a real relationship remembered by a real family. George Clooney carried the heaviest name, Billy Tyne, the captain whose daughters would later sue over his portrayal. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio played Linda Greenlaw, very much alive. The acclaimed swordboat captain became a best-selling author herself, and, as we've seen, a firm corrector of the film's inventions. The production shot in Gloucester deliberately among the community with the town's landmarks and losses in frame. Whatever the lawsuits argued about the script, the filming itself was an act of respect. The movie about Gloucester was made looking Gloucester in the eye. Number 3, James Horner scored it between Titanic and Legend. The music carrying the Andrea Gale out of harbor came from James Horner, fresh off the biggest score in history, Titanic, and returning immediately to the sea that made him. Longtime viewers know Horner from our Wrath of Khan video, the young composer whose Star Trek score launched a career that became Braveheart, Apollo 13, and Avatar. For The Perfect Storm, recorded with the Hollywood Studio Symphony, Horner blended sweeping nautical orchestration with acoustic and electric guitar, a folksy, working-class Americana for the fisherman's world ashore, dissolving into massive, wave-like orchestral swells as the storm takes over. The score's emotional anchor is Yours Forever, the end credits song Horner co-wrote with John Mellencamp, a farewell from the lost to the left behind. Critics debated the film. Few debated the music. Horner understood the assignment perfectly. This wasn't a monster movie. It was a requiem with weather. Number 2, a $328 million hit that critics never embraced. The Perfect Storm sailed into the July 4th weekend of 2000, directly against Mel Gibson's The Patriot, and won the box office battle. storming to $328 million worldwide on a budget near $140 million, finishing as the 8th highest-grossing film of the year. It earned 2 Academy Award nominations for visual effects and sound, and yet the reviews stayed stubbornly mixed. Critics praised the spectacular seas and mourned the thin characterizations, while audiences, especially in New England, turned out in enormous emotional numbers. The split verdict reflects the film's impossible assignment. It's a summer blockbuster about a real mass casualty, obligated to thrill and grieve simultaneously. Hollywood took the lesson selectively. The film's success helped revive the disaster epic for a new decade. But its strangest achievement stands apart from the numbers. It made millions of people care deeply about 6 working fishermen most of the world had never heard of. Number 1. The film ends where the story never can step back, and The Perfect Storm's real legacy is a paradox, a blockbuster built around an unknowable event. The lawsuits it triggered now shape how every true story film is made. Its digital ocean changed effects forever. Its title reshaped the language. But its deepest impact is in Gloucester, where the crow's nest still pours drinks beneath photographs of the crew, where visitors still walk from the bar to the Fisherman's Memorial and find the Andrea Gail's 6 names among 5,000 others. A wall the film introduced to the world. Sebastian Junger's book ends in honest uncertainty. The film, needing an ending, imagined one. Both point at the same truth the memorial states plainly. The sea has been taking Gloucester's men since the 1600s, and it does not explain itself. The Perfect Storm is Hollywood's version of the town's oldest prayer for those who go down to the sea in ships. Those were 14 facts most fans have never heard about The Perfect Storm, which stayed with you. The ending that had to be imagined, or the sister ship playing the Andrea Gail? Share it in the comments, and be kind there. Real families still carry this story. If this earned it, hit like, subscribe, and pass it on to someone from a harbor town. Until next time, fair winds.